a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Greatly appreciate you spending some time with us, and especially for those that reach out and support the show and support all of our local area business owners and expert contributors on the Consumer Quarterback Show. It really means the world to us when you do that. And obviously, you can hit the hotline up. You can call us on the hotline or consumerqb.com. You can call there as well. We've got a great lineup for you today here as well. We're going to be talking local fishing, Tampa Bay fishing update from Captain Jesse Zuban. He is captain and owner of Miss Virginia Deep Sea Fishing. So we're going to talk with him about what's happening in that space and a little recreation conversation for you. Hot topic as well as red snapper season. We're going to talk about that as well as our feel-good story of the day coming up as well. And Jennie Restrepo's in studio with us as well. She's a wealth of information around real estate and title and the whole mortgage industry as well. She's going to be on the second half. And we have, of course, Alex Lima in the house, black belt fitness and martial arts. Welcome in, Alex.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure, man. Always great to be here on the show. So we're going to talk some fishing and some feel-good stories. It's nice to bring those back, huh?
Feel-good story, man. That's a good one, too. There's a cat that accidentally got shipped across the country. So how did that happen? We'll dive into that later in the show.
I got a lot of cats in my neighborhood. I've thought about it. So,
yeah. But, package them up. I don't know what happened to the cat.
I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. But, yeah, man, things been busy. Real estate's going well. Lindsay's rocking and rolling with that apartment complex or that condo complex up in Gainesville, and actually just got asked to be part of the out-of-state international properties as well. So that's really cool. Some stuff going on in Peru, Chile, and Mexico as well. So cool stuff, man.
What a blessing, man. That's so awesome. You also didn't you just get up that you're going to be interviewed yourself? You're always doing the interviewing, but aren't you going to be interviewed here?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks for asking. We had a editor reach out from Florida Realtor Magazine, so real excited about that, man. It'll be my fifth or sixth time being interviewed, but Florida Realtor Magazine is our industry's trade publication, and they wanted to know more about our longevity with the Consumer Quarterback Show. We've been on air for almost 11 years now.
That's
11
crazy.
years. Wow.
Congratulations. That is so awesome.
Thank you, buddy. Awesome. Appreciate that, and it's all because of our audience and our listeners and supporters and show partners, expert contributors, real estate team, so many people that are helping us as that. Get to that point. So we really appreciate that. Florida Realtor Magazine, that'll be out in a couple of months, I would think, or probably 3 or 4 weeks, I would think. But that's going to be fun to roll out to our team. All right, let's let you know, hey, guys, one of the things we do here with the Consumer Quarterback Show is we really want to make it as entertaining as we can, of course, educational, but we also want to engage with you. One of the things that we like to do is invite you, our audience, our listeners, and our friends to our next gratitude party. Every month we'd host a gratitude party. This one's going to be on Thursday, May 16th at 6 o'clock over at Ours Creole Smokehouse. It's 310 East Tarpon Avenue in Tarpon Springs. Come on out and join. We're going to have food provided. It's excellent New Orleans style food. If you've never had any of this cooking from Doug Clark, he's the owner, he's the chef. You got to check him out. He's over at Ours Creole Smokehouse, restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, Pinellas County. Thursday, May 16th, 6 o'clock. Now, this is a networking / happy hour. Come on out. There's going to be a cash bar there as well, and we're going to provide food. So there's going to be all types of great food floating around, and Alex is going to be hosting that one for us as I'm out. I'm going to be at a graduation. So come on out, save the date. We'd love to see you there. All right, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. It's part of our strategy that helps our sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of our real estate. That's one of the main goals of our team, and our core competency is maximizing that exposure, helping sellers sell faster for more money. I'm an expert on the listing side of the business, and we've got about 60 current listings listing vacant land, commercial, and residential properties here in Tampa Bay and throughout the state of Florida for that matter as well. We got a hot listing here. It's a waterfront $1 million listing at 6101 Bayside Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. $1 million listing right here in Tampa Bay. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis, and enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3852 square feet, quarter-acre lot. You have hurricane-grade windows and doors, open concept floor plan, and this home has volume ceilings. So I love that when you have that openness in the home. You have your own private boat dock, as well as community. The community is awesome. What a great community to be in. You've got a lot of neighbors that are into fishing and getting out there and enjoying that Tampa Bay lifestyle, the Gulf of Mexico. You got direct Gulf access and access to the sandy beaches, world-class fishing, diving, water sports, and more. Check out 6101 Bayside Drive, Newport Richey, one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. All right, we also have a bar for sale, commercial property. I mentioned we do sell commercial properties. This one is currently operating as a bar. Hey, it could be converted to a restaurant, whatever you want to make out of it. 5402 West US Highway 92, Plant City. Over in East Hillsborough County, we've got a Plant City property for sale here. This one is currently, now one of the key things here is you've got the COP license. Now, that allows you to sell packaged liquor. You can also sell, of course, at the bar, and then you can host your own parties and events at different locations. So that's a really cool license to have. Those things in themselves are just super expensive. So you can host private events and parties. The property has fully furnished space, all fixtures and furniture, jukebox, 2 pool tables, website, established online presence, and more at 5402 West US Highway 92, Plant City. And you can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, we got Captain Jesse in the house. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brandon.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I love, the recreation side of living in Tampa Bay. I mean, what a great place to live, work, and play.
Oh, it's great to get out on the water. There's so much stuff to do. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't live on the coast.
Yeah, exactly. Just think about that. Think about that sometime. You see these shows and, and wherever, like the Arctics and these cold shows or whatever, survival shows. I'm like, man, I got to be close to the water and,
Yep.
and in the warm climate. No, nothing like Alaska or anything like that. But, yeah, tell us about some of your recent trips. How you're taking folks out and you got a great boat. I've been on the boat. It's an awesome vessel.
Yeah, well, just to start off, I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a smaller head boat. It's not like some of the bigger ones in the area. It's more of a smaller crowd. We only take up to about 40 people. For the most part, we run 8-hour trips from like 9 to 5. And we do a lot of specialty trips when snapper and different seasons open up, like the gags, red snapper, red grouper, amberjacks, etc. But right now, amberjacks did just open. Probably going to post a couple trips the end of the season here. They're biting pretty decent. They move in this time of year. Red grouper fishing's been really better than most years. I'd say from anywhere from 100 feet on. Been seeing really good numbers. It's a shame they're closing on the 30th of June. And red snapper will open up again June 1st, and they don't believe they have announced the close date yet.
Okay.
Not 100% sure, but for the for-hire side, it should open up June 1st as usual. Gag grouper is another hot button issue in the area. If we get a season, it's going to be very short due to the distorted data that just came through National Marine Fisheries and Gulf Council and so on. Looks like if we do get a season, it might only be 10 days.
Okay.
And that's for the whole recreational sector, including for hire.
Now, you mentioned distorted data. What do you mean by that? Because I see it in the financial side. You see distorted data coming out of Washington, D.C., and, of course, this current administration, a lot of the clown show that's happening up there. You see numbers coming out where, for example, on the labor side and employment, they'll come out and say, oh, well, employment numbers are great. There were 350,000 new jobs created. And then only the next month, and they did this 11 months in a row, they downward revised those numbers. So, in other words, they put out these numbers to look good. Oh, it looks great, and everybody can circulate it throughout all of the the media, and then only on the back page basically it comes out and says, oh, with it we actually made a mistake. It's actually 100,000 less than that. So do you see those types of things happening in the fishing industry?
Oh, 100%. I talk to my customers and friends on the water, fellow captains and stuff about it all the time. Like, for example, this gag grouper season coming up, one of the reasons it's shortened with this rebuilding program, they did one intercept on the Sunshine Skyway, and I believe, don't quote me exactly,
Sure,
but it's roughly 108,000 pounds of keeper gag grouper they caught in a month and 19-day season on the bridge. And that was based off of one intercept, one keeper fish caught on the bridge.
So one intercept meaning?
They sampled one fish.
Huh.
And,
that's crazy.
And that is 100% fact. You can pull that up. And it's just egregious. I mean, that's totally not true, because when you look at the landings, the head boats report our landings through the Federal Head Boat Survey.
Yeah.
And in that same season, every head boat put together only brought in 8,000 pounds and change through every for-hire head boat in the Gulf.
Wow. And
to even make that comparison between catching that many gag grouper off the bridge and all the boats that are going offshore is silly. I mean,
yeah, how can you correlate that data? It sounds like, as you mentioned, egregious, and it's also pernicious, because these people, they get in these power positions and they continue to push agendas. If you just joined us, we're talking with Captain Jesse Zuban. He owns the Miss Virginia deep sea fishing charters. And where does your vessel take out or depart from?
Oh, we're out of Tarpon Springs there on the end of the sponge docks.
Yeah, great location.
Yeah, we're between Rusty Bellies and like Spongerama, the west end.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Great location, and you can go out there and go fishing and enjoy it. Now, you had mentioned earlier some of the catches that you've had. Can you tell us some recent success stories?
Yeah, actually, we just did a 30-hour trip here in April. It was turned out really good. We had over 30 keeper red grouper, 350 mangrove snapper,
wow,
60, 70 yellowtails, had a big cobia, some real big triggerfish, which is kind of a treat because they're generally always closed. It's very rare you hit them when they're
triggerfish.
When they're open. But despite everything that was closed, we still managed to come in with a really nice box of fish. And I keep a limited crowd on those trips. Only take 22 people, so everybody had real full coolers of fish and a good experience. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, that's super cool. So 30 hours, is that an overnight deal?
Yeah, okay. That was overnight.
Very cool. Yeah, because you're going out quite a ways, burning a lot of gasoline or diesel, whichever you run there, and you're going out pretty far out to get to the right waters, aren't you?
Yeah, on that trip we were out 85 miles.
Yeah,
from Anclote, the Anclote area there. Yeah, it's a long run.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're talking with Captain Jesse Zuban here. Miss Virginia is his vessel, and I've been on the boat. It's an awesome boat. Deep sea fishing right here in Tampa Bay. We're going to talk more with him. Also get into that feel-good story as well. Cat accidentally shipped across the country an Amazon box coming up later on in the program. And reach out to the show if you'd like more information about anything you've heard here or a connection with any of our 80 different categories of consumer advocates, 40 different show partners, 727-263-3707, 727-263-3707. You can call or text that hotline, and we'll get right back to you before our head hits the pillow. More coming up with Captain Jesse here on The Flip Side. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We're talking a little recreation here with Captain Jesse Zuban. The Miss Virginia is his vessel and fishing charter here right out of Tarpon Springs. Great location. Very close to proximity to Tampa Bay and a lot of other hotspots here in Tampa Bay. Quick shout out to our friends over at Divine Balance Alternative Healing. Christina does a great job. She's an awesome therapist. They have different enhancements as well on these massages: hot towels, hot stones, Reiki, aromatherapy, infused oils, reflexology, stretching as well. Divine Balance Alternative Healing. Great location right here in Palm Harbor as well, just off of US 19, alternate 19 there at Palm Harbor. DivineBalanceAlternativeHealing.com. You can find her online. Make sure you let her know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. DivineBalanceAlternativeHealing.com. And a shout out to Christina. All right, a couple of hot listings for this segment. We've got a property at 5642 Egrets Place in Newport Richey. This is a beautiful home. This one is a gated community. You have 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, almost 3,000 square feet, quarter-acre lot, heated pool with a waterfall, beautiful pavers around it, fenced-in backyard, 2 sets of sliders. You also have a view overlooking the canal across the street. The community amenities also have a waterfront clubhouse, heated pool, lighted tennis courts, and more. 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey, one of my favorite listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Indian Shores, beachfront property. Have you ever wanted to own your own beachfront property? Well, this is a $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team, and this one's right on the beach. You are walking right out of your door, past your heated pool, on the Sugar Sand Beaches, dolphin-filled waters of Indian Shores. 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,000 square foot beachfront condo in Indian Shores. And you can see all of our real estate properties at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Captain Jesse, we have some B-roll footage. I want to ask producer Alex to throw these footage up there for us and talk us through for our viewing audience. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble. We're all over Apple, Amazon, Roku, all the different spots. So what are we looking at here, Captain?
Sure. The 2 photos on the outside of the screen on each side are big red snapper we caught last year. And the center photo was during gag season last year. You'd see a big mango snapper in the center and a handful of gag grouper there. That was just on a regular 8-hour day.
Wow. Now, these 2 on the outside, they look really big.
Those were from offshore trips.
What are they weighing in at, roughly?
Those are between 15 and 20 pounds.
Nice. That's a nice fish.
It's a lot of sandwiches and fish sticks, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Some good eating.
It really
right there
is
for a
Good
while.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
A little tartar sauce on that, you're in good shape.
Yes,
We
sir.
got another photo?
That's what we got right now.
Okay, that's what we got.
The website.
So, I love that. And then you got red snapper. Talk to me about that, because there's 2 different seasons. It seems to be, you mentioned you get a lot of calls on that with the 2 different seasons from red snapper.
Yeah, there's been a lot of confusion. We field a lot of questions on our business line about it. In recent years, they split the sector. It's the only fish currently that the for-hire side is separated from the recreational sector.
Okay.
So if someone goes online and looks at the snapper season, they're going to see that it doesn't open till the 17th of June or something like that.
Got it.
Whereas the for-hire side is split. We're going to open the 1st and go through a to-be-announced date. But then there's also times of the year at the backside where we're not going to open, and the recreational sector will get certain weekends. The state has a say in the management for the recreational side. So if you're booking on a charter boat or a head boat that's permitted, don't be alarmed when you look online and says it's, the information says it's closed, because it's not for our particular industry. And currently, that's the only fish that is separated.
Got it. Yeah, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things to do is I love, I'm a Florida boy. I grew up in South Florida, a small town called LaBelle, just east of Fort Myers. Football was my main deal. That's why it's the Consumer Quarterback Show. But I love fishing. I love the outdoors. I love getting out there and, hunting, fishing, all that good stuff. And going to the Keys. We go to the Keys a couple times a year, and we have a Freedom Boat Club membership, so that plays in nicely. You don't have to trailer the boat. You show up in the boats there and getting out and enjoying. But right where we're located, and I've heard it said that New Orleans, kind of south of New Orleans, where that kind of flows, and then of course also the entire Gulf Coast, really. But one of the hottest, they say, in the world is like that Everglades area. What's your thoughts about best fishing places in the world?
Well, it kind of depends on what you want to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And what you're targeting. I love going to the Keys, too, myself. I think it's a blast. We go a few times a year and tow a boat down there, and, we're all about it. You have access to topwater fish, inshore fish, regular, reef fish you would catch in this area. It's one of the few places in the world you can go out and target such a variety within 20 miles from the coast. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Up in our area, the West Coast, what's really neat is it's a lot more untouched. You get way offshore, whereas in the Keys and the Everglades, it doesn't take nearly as long to get to that deeper water. In the wrecks, we've got more natural bottom, and it's a lot farther offshore, so it can be a lot more abundant.
Yeah.
But the drawback is you have to access it. It's a long run. You got to spend a lot of money to get there and fish it,
Yeah.
So,
and with the price of fuel right now, I mean, it's probably hurting a lot of the fishing industry, and both the commercial and just people wanting to get out and run their boats.
Oh yeah, the price of fuel and regulations and everything else. I mean, and it's not just our business; it's taking a toll on a lot of different industries, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah, anything that's got to be transported.
Mm-hmm.
Anything transported, putting on a truck. The cost of fuel, the cost of those things, and Yeah, it's a lot. Alex, any questions for Captain Jesse?
So what's the process, man, to like book with you and stuff? How far out do people need to reach out to you, and what does that typically look like?
Well, if you're looking to go this summer for like offshore trips, say, I would definitely start calling now. There's some trips that are already selling out. It's a really popular time, again, because of the limited time frame some of these fish are open. For the regular day trips, it's also a really great family atmosphere. You know, we cater to people that know what they're doing. You're welcome to bring your own equipment. You know, if you're a family or a novice and you just want to get out for the day, we provide the rods and reels, no extra charge. Our price pretty much includes everything. It's $90 for the day.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it even
super affordable.
Yeah,
That's really good. Yeah.
Probably one of the best deals in the whole Bay Area.
Yeah.
We try to keep it cheaper for everybody, you know.
Those offshore trips you're talking about, what does that entail? Like how long? I mean, you can book obviously a longer trip, but it's just kind of like 3 days. What is it? How does that typically
We
go?
typically run through the summertime 16-hour trips.
Okay.
And 32-hour trips. The 16-hour trips on our boat are $250 for the day, and again, that includes everything you need for the trip. And we only take 25 people on the boat.
That's per person, or how's that?
Per person.
Yeah.
And
that's still very fair.
Yeah,
that's
and we limit the crowd. You know, we were doing it a lot cheaper in years past and putting more people. And by popular demand, they're like, well, we want more elbow room, and I certainly understand that.
Sure.
Got a minute left, Jesse. Tell us how people can connect with you. What's the best place for people to connect?
I would call the business line. It's 727-862-5516. There's generally always somebody by the phone. You can talk to us directly.
Say that number again.
727-862-5516. That's our direct line to the boat and our office. And like I said, someone's generally always there to answer the phone. We also have a Facebook page we try to keep up with pretty regularly, too. We post pictures, different seasons, different trips that are coming up. And that's you can find us on Facebook at Miss Virginia Deep Sea Fishing.
Miss Virginia Deep Sea Fishing. Is there a story behind the name?
Yeah, it's actually named after my sister. My dad commercial fished on the boat for years, and in 1994, when my sister was born, he changed the name after his daughter, Virginia, and my grandmother's name was Virginia, so he renamed it that and converted it over to a fishing head boat for the day.
Yeah, great family name. Love it. All right, Captain Jesse Zuban, Miss Virginia Deep Sea Fishing right out of Tarpon Springs right here in Tampa Bay. Something fun to do if you haven't thought about that. Get out there and enjoy the outdoors. Captain, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. All right, feel-good story of the day coming up. Cat is accidentally shipped across the country in an Amazon box. Find out about that story coming up. Also, Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. We're going to talk about Tampa Bay real estate market and more coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Also powered, in a sense, by Brio Tuscan Grill. I love going over there, getting my lunches and sometimes dinners. We have our happy hours there from time to time, our networking parties. Brio Tuscan Grill, a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay, Tampa restaurant partner. Excellent food. The food is from scratch. It's Tuscan-inspired recipes. Salmon fresca is one of the most popular. I really love that. What I do is I substitute the asparagus for broccolini. I like that a little bit better. But they've got happy hours going on daily. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. Talk to Chef Oscar Ramirez or Joey, the general manager, and they're going to hook you up with a free appetizer just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Jennie Restrepo in the house. We're going to talk about jobs, wages. We're going to talk about affordability. She's got a specific example of a first-time home buyer and affordability, talking about that coming up here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We've got a beautiful property here at 7325 Skybird Road right here in Tampa Bay. This one's in Manatee, unit number 399, Bradenton, Florida. A great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. Now, this one's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage, 1,520 square foot condo with a lake view. This one has granite countertops, wood cabinets, stainless steel appliances, beautiful flooring throughout. And I want to see this amenities here. You got an 81-foot lagoon-style heated pool. I think the kids would love that one. Clubhouse with fitness center, catering kitchen as well, and you're close to the beaches at 7325 Skybird Road, unit number 399 in Bradenton, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We also have one at 21480 Southwest Marine Boulevard. This one's in Dunellen, Florida, kind of our northern listening audience here, up north, closer to Ocala, great area. And you get more bang for your buck. The further north you go in Florida here, at least in the Tampa Bay market, you're getting more bang for your buck, more value. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This home boasts a serene location nestled in the heart of Rainbow Lake Estates, 21480 Southwest Marine Boulevard, Dunellen, Florida. And you are just a short distance and a convenient drive over to the world-renowned crystal clear waters of Rainbow Springs. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, Jennie Restrepo back in studio. Welcome back, Jennie.
Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I love talking real estate with you and talking about the market and the affordability factor. That seems to be one of the biggest issues right now facing Florida buyers, home buyers.
Affordability is definitely something. As we know, prices are going up. That includes home prices. Interest rates are going up. And when it comes to affordability, I know that it is on the radar of our local Tampa Bay area leadership. But the crisis is now. The need for affordable housing is now. And I was just sharing with Brandon a real-life case of a buyer who is a City of Tampa employee, has a 727 credit score, has an amazing W-2 job, makes almost $70,000 a year, no debt, no student loans, no child support payments. All he has is a truck payment. And every which way that we look at it, he is only getting approved for like $220,000.
Wow.
And there aren't any houses at $220,000 really. And plus, he's a first-time home buyer, so we're not looking at fixer-uppers or flips or ones that are needing a lot of work, because those are not going to get approved for standard financing. And so the struggle is real in that this same borrower 5 years ago, certainly 10 years ago, would have had the world at his fingertips, choices, abounding choices. And now, because of lots of different factors, and so we have an entire generation of what would be first-time home buyers that are coming out of college or have been in the workforce and have established careers, and they are being maligned in the media as being lazy or living at home forever. And it's like, how do we expect them to make that next step? Even if, what would be the better scenario? Excellent credit, no debt, no student loans.
Right.
If this person can't get approved for something that he can afford, then who does? Yeah,
affordability is a major play, in that overall goal of attaining home ownership. And you look at home ownership and you look at that American dream, I mean, it's fizzling away. I mean, if you look at all of the different factors, insurance being a big problem.
Yes.
Of course, taxes are still, they're there, but they're not as bad in Florida. But when you couple that with the job market, we looked at a article here. I've seen it in a couple different places. So a friend of mine is a local economist, Owen Lefebvre over here at a bank locally, but he wrote Jolt's report on the heels of slowing GDP growth last week. The jobs opening reports showed that jobs openings fell in March to the lowest level in 3 years, while quits in hiring also slowed, indicating softening in the labor market. No jobs recessions yet, which is what the Fed originally wanted when it started the rate hiking cycle, but it appears we're finally moving in that direction. All eyes on the employment numbers on Friday, so that'll be coming out. And then you just look at the overall economy. So yeah, the economy, and I've seen some people post online, oh, well, the stock market's done this and it's gone up to that. Well, that's Wall Street. That's not Main Street. People at Main Street are hurting, Jennie.
Yes. When we look at the jobs reports, it's excellent. Everybody's getting a job. That's great. What we now need to address is the corporate greed that's keeping wages down and prices up. Yeah. Because this is my personal opinion.
Yep.
The middle class is feeling the squeeze.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in certain housing opportunities, so St. Petersburg actually just opened a brand new facility to help bridge the gap for people who have suffered homelessness to get back on their feet and get back to a stable living situation for themselves and for their families. but the income requirement in order to qualify is $30,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you make $30,000 a year, I'm not sure what programs can be offered to get you to the next step, because how are you going to be able to afford housing in this area, in many areas in the country, if that's what your wages are?
Sure.
And then a different perspective on wages is some people may say, well, then get a better job. But if you're already struggling and working 40, 50, 60 hours a week just to make ends meet, you don't have time to not work, to learn a new trade, to go back to school. It's sort of a vicious cycle that feeds into itself.
Yeah, it can be. It takes a special person to say, hey, I just got home. I'm going to say hello to tuck my kids into bed and then go back on the computer, maybe learn a skill from 7 to 11. You know, that's the only way that I see, you know, other than that, weekend stuff. But we're talking with Jennie Restrepo here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Insured Title Agency, helping you with your real estate closings here in Tampa Bay. And she's also heavily involved with GTAR and Pro. We're going to talk about a proposed merger coming up here in just a minute. I want to stay on this wages topic, jobs, wages, and greedflation, because we were talking a little bit before the show about greedflation. Can you pull up those numbers that you were showing me earlier? So you looked at, when you think about what these corporations are doing, not only are you seeing monopolistic practices, like I've got an article from Google here. Google paid Apple $20 billion for search. Google parent Alphabet, Apple, paid Apple $20 billion in 2022 for Google to be the default search engine in the Safari web browser. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to a Safari web browser, which is owned by Apple, but guess what's behind the scenes? It's actually Google's search engine. That's according to a newly unsealed court documents in the Justice Department's antitrust case against Google, which has been heads to closing arguments. But anyway, and then you see like Texas, the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, sued Google as well. I mean, you look at how some of these big companies, they get so big, they control so much, and especially search. When people do a search for a politician on the left, it's going to show one thing. When they do a search for a politician on the right, it's going to show a different thing. So let's continue this talk about corporate greed. Tell me about some of these profits these corporations are bringing in.
So corporate greed, I think, is where, when we look at home affordability, your money doesn't go as far as it used to, because now, on top of trying to afford a house and a mortgage, you're paying more for your gas, you're paying more at the grocery store. And basic economics 101, so full disclosure, I am not an economics expert. However, this is sort of the first day of class, they tell you. The supply and demand conversation, right?
Sure.
And prices. Well, during COVID, there were supply chain issues. Yes, obviously. The world shut down. That's not a thing anymore. And your profits cannot grow exponentially if your cost to create those products is going up at the same rate.
Cost of goods
sold.
sold.
If you're raising your prices at the same rate as your cost of good or cost of service,
Yep.
your profits don't double, triple, or quadruple.
Right.
That's math. And I'm not even a math person, and I can do the math. So this is from... this is something I saw posted online, so this may not be 100% correct, but it's certainly going to be in the neighborhood.
Sure.
Companies like Heinz Kraft had profits of $8.973 billion with a B, billion dollars. Your profits,
Last year?
That's not gross. So they've taken all the cost out of that number. That is the profit in 2023. Starbucks made $24.56 billion
overpriced
in
coffee.
profits, which means it could give each of its 400,000 employees an $11,000 raise and would still have $20 billion in profit.
Wow. Yeah, and you see it all over the place. You see it in potato chips bags.
Yes.
Bags of potato chips. The bag looks this big, and then the inside is that that small. So you see this type of thing happening across the world, and you look at, unfortunately, who's going to do something about it, right? It's crazy. Go ahead, Alex.
A lot of the fault in this lies in the consumer as well. They
Okay.
made those profits because people continue to buy the product, correct?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
But what are the
You don't
options? That's
You
another
buy,
good point.
You buy
though.
the store brand or something.
That's a good point.
Instead of buying like Heinz and Kraft or whatever, you
I
get
do.
whatever Publix or whatever wherever you shop, you get the store brand. You get the reduced price. Show them that we're not going to pay this game anymore.
Sure.
And a lot of the times those store brand products, it's the same
thing.
It's made in the same. It's
Yes.
freaking crazy. It's
Very
$8
similar,
It's,
yeah.
it's $7. No, it's the same. It's made in the same factory.
Yeah.
It's $7 for this ketchup, but only $350
That's
for
marketing.
this one.
Yeah, that's
It's
marketing.
ridiculous. You're paying for the brand, and
Yeah.
it's
I
the
mean-
people need to step up and stop.
Let me
buying
add
it.
something there too, because when you think about that, you look at the consolidation that's happening in a lot of different industries, and you look at what happened in the real estate space, right? BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they come in and they buy a lot, and there's some other names I don't even want to mention, but they start with a Z in different places. But they what they do is they buy properties that are competing for first-time home buyers, veterans, things of that nature. But yeah, so this overall consolidation is what's causing a major issue. We got to put a button on this here, Jenny.
Sure. Well, less competition in the marketplace never benefits the consumer.
Exactly. That's right. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back more of this conversation around economics and real estate. We're going to talk about also GTAR and Pro, the potential merge there with Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency on the Consumer Quarterback Show, as well as our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this cat that accidentally got shipped across the country in an Amazon box. Coming up, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We got a hot listing here, 5121 40th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. This one is a newer property to the market, that is. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, almost 2,100 square foot. You got a quarter-acre lot here surrounded by beautiful oak trees. I love those Florida oak trees. Spacious living room. You have a nice kitchen. Primary bedrooms located upstairs, and closed back porch as well. 5121 40th Avenue North, St. Petersburg. Another one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team. 4501 Garnett Drive, Newport Richey, waterfront beauty right here in Tampa Bay. This one is a property that is the owner has just did a price improvement. We're priced right. We're ready to sell. 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2215 square foot townhome at 4501 Garnett Drive, Newport Richey. You're on the water. Bring your boat. Enjoy that Florida lifestyle. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, here's our feel-good story of the day. We have pet owner's fur baby got shipped into Amazon in the box that they were returning their boots in. Kitty spent 6 days in the box and ended up in California, where an employee found and cared for the kitty until they could get her to the vet and get her chip scanned. What a cool technology piece, right? This kitty was a curious cat who always loved to play with cardboard and boxes around the house. Kitty is back at home safe and sound, but let's just say that she's not ready to play with any more cardboard at this time. So there's your feel-good story of the day. I guess, reading the article, the owner was packing the box, walked out of the room, and I guess didn't check when he came back in and just sealed it up. So the kitty got shipped across the country, free flight for the cat there.
Okay, my cat would have been, he doesn't meow, he mows, but he would have been meow, meow,
You would have heard him.
There's no chance.
And luckily there was...
He would have been shipped in a box.
Luckily it wasn't sealed up super tight and he was able to breathe. There was, in the article, it mentioned how it wasn't sealed up super tight. But yeah, that was a crisis averted. We're talking with Jennie Restrepo, Consumer Quarterback Show, Insured Title Agency, and we're on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you as a consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer QB Show, online at consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. So Jennie, you're very involved with the local boards. What's happening on the latest with GTAR and Pro?
Yes. Before I talk about GTR and Pro, I just wanted to give a shout out to my Insured Title Agency team, because we met with Brandon's team and one of his agents on his team, Jamie. She had 2 open houses that she was hosting this past weekend, and there was a little bit of a mix-up. We didn't have those addresses, and on Friday, she's like, well, I really, really would like your amazing new listing books to support my open house.
Sweet.
Is there anything that you can do? And the answer was yes. As a team, we got everything done and got her beautiful picture on the front cover so that she had the support for her open houses.
Love it.
And even Ubered the books to her house.
Oh, wow.
So that she would have them in time
That's
for the
service.
open house. So that is a service that Insured Title Agency offers to all of our agent partners. Or if you're a for sale by owner, that too. We make a book for you. We do all the title work up front, put it in a beautiful binder, put your beautiful picture on the front and your contact information, and then it can sit right there on the kitchen counter for any showings, for any buyers, or it can support your open house.
I like that.
Plus, you have the peace of mind that the title is good, the lien search is good.
Yeah.
We help you get condo docs or HOA information, and then you have everything that you need to just beautifully package up your listing for that potential buyer.
Yeah, right on. I love that. And the seller, if it's a listing appointment, the seller is going to be, very happy about that. They're going to see all that information up front. It's going to show the mortgages, the liens, and you avoid any of those last-minute hassles and headaches that happen sometimes when you fail to do that.
Definitely.
So great point there. So GTAR and Pro, is the merge on, or is it still talked about? Where are we at with that?
Well, we say unification.
Okay.
So what we're talking about is Greater Tampa Realtors and Pinellas or Realtor Organization and Central Pasco Realtor Organization. So it's Pro and C-Pro. There is a potential unification on the table for the members to vote on. So what does that even mean? Well, we have our local associations here in the state of Florida, and most of your realtor members, well, if you're a realtor, not a real estate sales associate, if you are a realtor, then you do belong to the National Association of Realtors, the Florida Realtors, and your local board.
Yep.
But agents get to choose. And then what does the board do? Well, the board supports the members by providing training, education, events, networking opportunities. And we have a governmental affairs that pays attention to what goes on in our local government. Right now, Pinellas and Tampa are separate associations.
Yep.
But as we know, and Brandon talks about the listings from his team, they cross the bay. We cross the bay, most of us. So it makes sense at this point that the associations have the opportunity potentially to unify, because we're not living in separate worlds. Tampa Bay, as known by the rest of the country, is Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, and parts of Pasco County, or all of Pasco County, maybe some Polk County.
Yep.
But Tampa Bay has amazing opportunities and needs, and we want to be able to offer the best in class for the community as well as for our agent members. So there is a proposal of unification, but it's not a foregone conclusion. It will be decided by the membership. And so if you are listening to the show and you are a member of either Pro or GTR, please be aware that you should be receiving an email starting May 14th. And you'll have 5 days to review all of the information, make your vote, and make your voice heard. Just like, it's an election year, so make sure you register to vote.
Yep.
It's very important to be involved.
That's right.
But if you want more information on what that's really going to look like, what the bylaws would be, and how it's all going to shake out, please go to tampabayrealtors.org.
Okay.
That is the unification site. There are videos from leadership, from our current presidents, all of the information about what this would look like and how it would affect our current members. And so I'm not advocating for people to vote a certain kind of way. That's not my vibe. I am just advocating that you check out the information, get informed, and make your voice heard, because we really do want the engagement of the membership in deciding the future of the associations, whether they come together or not. It is up to the members.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Jennie Restrepo here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And Jennie, we have just about a minute left, a little bit longer. And what I wanted to talk about, down payment assistance dollars, since housing affordability is so tough right now. What's your quick thoughts around down payment assistance?
So down payment assistance, Hometown Heroes will be refunded as of July 1st, but there's no way to pre-apply. So make sure that you've already reached out to a lender partner if you're even thinking about buying a home.
Okay.
Get that conversation going. Call into the show. Let Brandon refer you to one of the show partner lender partners, because you want to be ready to go when it's go time.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. But Hometown Heroes isn't the only gig in town. Wherever you're looking to purchase, the counties, the municipalities, so City of Tampa has an amazing down payment assistance program. Pasco has one. Pinellas has one. There's lots of programs out there, so you want to make sure when you're interviewing a lender partner, make sure that that lender partner is on these approved lists, is willing to work with you with down payment assistance, because a lot of people, they have the monthly income to afford the mortgage. It's the cost of getting into the home. And so that is a way that our Tampa Bay area is trying to promote home ownership and affordability opportunities.
Yeah.
And some of those are grants, meaning they are forgiven. Some of them are forgiven after a certain amount of time of owner occupancy.
Right.
Or some just sit there and you pay them back at closing when you sell the house. But the presumption is that you would then have a bunch of equity in the home
Right.
to pay it back.
Yeah, awesome, good stuff.
So
I
call
like
the
that.
show.
Down
Find
payment
out your
assistance, money, dollars available, and each municipality is a little bit different. Plus, you can also negotiate concessions. There's lots of ways we can get you into a home at a great deal these days. Jennie Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Check us out on all the socials at Insured Title Agency.
Yes, and thank you to Captain Jesse as well on the front end of the show, and of course all of our producers. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community, and we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.